Right. All right. Welcome to the Batcave Beats podcast. I'm joined here with a special artist. He's my first ever country artist on this podcast, and he's going to start off by introducing himself and let you know a little bit about how he got into music.
Yeah, what's going on? Appreciate you having me on. Yeah, my name's Drew Dangerfield. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina originally. Live up in Nashville now. Um, let's see, getting into music. So growing up, I always loved country music. I was always at kids singing and stuff. And they were like, "Oh, you should try out for chorus or whatever." And did like a day of that and realized I didn't do like Alan Jackson or like George Strait in chorus. I didn't do that. Play the trumpet a little bit in middle school, and kind of after that kind of stopped with music. About, let's say, about 5 years ago, I came down in Nashville just for fun, and saw everybody out in the bars playing guitar and singing. It looked like they were having fun, so I went, got back home, bought a guitar, and then started writing songs, and kind of turned into more than I ever expected it would, for sure. But yeah, start just since then, just been putting out music and playing shows, and yeah, just living down here in Nashville, trying to do the thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. What made you make the transition from South Carolina to Nashville?
So I moved here like 7 months ago. I mean, I love Charleston. That's probably where I want to end up, later down the road. Like, all my family lives in South Carolina. Love it there, but I don't know, it just seemed like for country, moving to Nashville was the thing to do. It is, I mean, it's really cool here. Like, I mean, you go out and you see a lot of the same people, and there's certain bars you just go to, and just everyone there, like, either writes, sings, plays some sort of instrument, is a producer, and you're not like weird here for like, I don't know, in like Charleston, it's like, oh, you do music. And I met like a guy Taylor who was playing rhythm guitar for me. I met him, Taylor Engel. I met him. He lives in Columbia, South Carolina. But besides that, I mean, Charleston has a music scene. It's just not everywhere you look. And here is just tons of people to write with and stuff. Because in country music, writing with other people is a big part of it. So yeah, just kind of to meet people, and yeah, just be around it all the time. So
Yeah. Um, I've talked to a couple people that have kind of discussed the scene in Nashville, and I think it's kind of cool. Whereas I was talking to an artist recently that was balancing like LA or Nashville, even though he's not necessarily in the country music scene so much. And he said that he ultimately decided Nashville just because it feels like out in Nashville, everyone's kind of cheering each other on and kind of working together a little bit more to help like
yeah, I've heard
each
I've
other.
heard that as well. I mean, I've only been here 7 months. I've got like so much to figure out, but yeah, even like, I mean, Nashville's really just becoming like a songwriter hub. Like, there's other genres and everything. It just seems like, all the best songwriters move here. And yeah, like you were saying, it, I mean, so far it seems like everyone's super nice, and wants to work together. And yeah, it's kind of just kind of finding your crew down here, and working with them. But yeah, it seems everyone's been nice to me so far. So
Yeah. What was you kind of mentioned growing up and finding the guitar and going to Nashville and then kind of going from there. Was there anything specific that pulled you towards country music or like versus other genres, or do you only listen to country? Do you kind of
no, I
listen?
mean, I love all sorts of music. Like, I listen to rap. In high school, I listened to a lot of like Revolution and like Sublime and that kind of music. I love rock, Southern rock. Um, but yeah, country is definitely the one I grew up on. I didn't even know there was another genre of music till like high school or like late middle school. So, um, but yeah, I think that just fits kind of how I grew up, and when I grew up, the music I really love. But yeah, I mean, I'm into all sorts of different music, but country is definitely the go-to for sure.
Yeah. What's been your coolest moment as an artist so far in your career?
Man, honestly, Friday night probably was like one of the coolest. Like, Um, I've done a lot of, I've gotten to open for a lot of cool people. I played Darius Rucker's Riverfront Revival Festival. They're doing it again in October. That was really cool. They had like a tent with my name on it. Like that was a cool moment. Gotten to open some like Jody Messina, Tyler Farr, but yeah, fun. Last night was like the first big headline. So I played like your standard cover gig where you play for 3 hours. I've done plenty of those, and those are fun and a good way to make money. But yeah, like Friday night, just being able to sell at the Windjammer and be able to play my own music and have a band behind me and stuff. The crowd was electric too. Like I don't know, there was something in the air that night. Like I was looking out from the green room and we were looking down and we're like, oh, these people are ready to party. Like it's gonna be a fun night. Like it was a mix of like people I knew and then like bachelor parties and bachelorette parties and spring breakers, and it was definitely a cool vibe Friday night. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, had you played at the Windjammer previously? That was actually my first time ever going there. I had never been
Oh
to the
really?
venue before. Yeah.
Yeah, the Windjammer is iconic. So yeah, I've been to you'll have to go to a beach stage. So they had that. I don't know if you saw, they had that huge
Outside.
stage out there, and they'll have like, I mean, they've got like, they get huge artists that come through there. Like I've seen Dirk Bentley there, John Michael Montgomery, like Mountjoy plays there, the Moon Taxi. They'll get huge people out there. But I've opened a bunch of times there. So I opened for Tyler Farr out on the beach stage, and some other like bigger local South Carolina guys inside and outside. But that was the first time that I got to, play with a full band. Usually I'm just opening, playing, acoustic by myself, or um, I'll have, someone play lead guitar and just do a duo. But yeah, that was the first time getting to play full band out there.
That's cool. How did you meet Cody Webb? Had you met him previously, or did it just kind of?
Yeah, we actually, so the Windjammer set us up for that show. But actually, so he was playing this place in Santee, South Carolina, and all my family's from Ellery and Lone Star, which is close to there. And I actually like DM'd him and was like, "Hey, I see you're playing here. Like, can I just like open for you? Like, I'll play 30 minutes, whatever." And I didn't think he'd respond, and he was like, "Yeah, sure." And I mean, he's the nicest guy. Like, went out to eat with him and his band before there, and yeah, just a real cool guy. But yeah, that was only like the second time I've met him. But yeah, he's him and his band are good guys, good people.
That's awesome. Have you experienced that a lot where you reached out and just been like, I'm just curious how that whole aspect of opening up for someone kind of works out. Like, do you reach out typically and just?
Yeah, I I should do it more often. His was really, I'd seen, like I followed him and I saw he was playing in that place, and I kind of had a good pitch, right? Because I was like, hey, I'll help you sell tickets. Like
I know people
my
here.
cousins will come and they'll bring their buddies, like
Yeah.
so like for that I have, and more it's really like the low, like it helps being from Charleston. I'll just reach out to the venues more, and they'll usually, like if they have a bigger act coming in, they'll need local support maybe to help sell tickets. And um, that was huge just starting out. Is like my dad grew up on Isle of Palms, actually, where Windjammer is. And um, our families lived in Charleston for a while, so they they're my parents friend bring a lot of their friends too. So it's like it's always been a plus being like, hey, I'll bring like 50 to 100 of my friends and my parents' friends. Like they may not necessarily like know that I play music really, but if I tell them to come out, they'll come out, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that's definitely been a huge advantage for sure, getting shows.
Yeah. Has the music scene always been this big in Charleston? 'Cause I was just curious because I had no idea that like there was so much live music down here before moving down here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like anywhere the weather's nice, right? There's going to be like a big music scene. Like there's definitely, yeah, it's definitely good. Growing up, there was always, we went to the music farm a lot growing up. I'd love to play that. I don't know if you've been there. That one's downtown, but yeah, there's a bunch of great venues in Charleston for sure.
Yeah, I know. Kid G, I listened to him a little bit, and he was just recently
Okay, yeah, yeah,
perform. Yeah, like just like 2 weeks ago now or something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, downtown's pretty awesome. Like there's so much. I like how as a whole Charleston is just so like you can do whatever you're in the mood for. There's such a good variety of stuff to do, whether it's hang out at Shem Creek, hang out downtown,
for sure.
or try.
You gotta know someone with a boat, so
Yeah, yeah.
gotta get to meet someone with a boat.
Yeah, that's the goal. That
Yeah,
actually I did meet someone with a boat and it was funny. Um so I like the way my school system works, I have like a clinical instructor that I'm with, and he's been here for like 3 years. And I was getting done with work one day, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go out on the boat today." He's like, "You've been here like 6 weeks, and you know someone with a boat?" He's like, "I've been here for 3 weeks, 3 years, and I don't know anybody with a boat."
yeah. I have my granddad's old. It's just like a 17 Boston whaler, and one of my buddies he'd always I would never say this to him, but like we'd talk to some girls. He's like, "Hey, my buddy's got a boat. Like we should all go out." I'm like, "Dude, come
Whatever it takes to set me apart while I'm out in Charleston.
on." Yeah,
I'm amazed that like the dolphins are out there like year round too. Like I was like shocked to see so many dolphins. Like I feel like
yeah, yeah. You can tell the people that aren't from Charleston, like, all the
yeah,
Dolphins.
yeah, yeah. They're like everyone else is like, yeah, they're always there. What do you mean? They never leave.
Yeah, yeah. I just I felt like that. I went to Cabo a couple weeks ago for a bachelor party, and they had like whales out there. So I felt like, all the tourists on Shim Creek. I was like, holy crap, a whale!
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. You're like, oh, I know what it's like now.
now I get it.
Now I get it. Yeah, that's cool though. What's been the hardest challenge as far as deciding to become like making music your main thing and kind of pursuing this dream?
Um, I don't know. I guess like too like at this point, it's just what I like to do. So I'm gonna, I just do it for fun, and trying to make something of it. And if nothing does, that's cool. I like writing songs. I'm gonna do it the rest of my life, no matter what. I guess the biggest thing is like figuring out how you go from how I can recreate Friday night, how I can have that show in like 20 different markets, so I can make like a real sustainable living, and like, yeah, how to get people to stream your music and stuff. But I'm so fresh into it. I'm still trying to figure all that out. How to, basically you're just like marketing a small business. You're just marketing yourself, and I suck at TikTok, like and all
Yeah,
that social
no,
media
same.
stuff, and that seems to be the way to go these days. And I'm not good at that, so I got to figure out another way. So yeah, I
Yeah,
guess just trying to build a fan base. Yeah, that's
yeah,
other than Charleston. I got some good buddies, and my parents have a lot of friends that are supportive. So that's been a good start of like having that market where I can go and have moments like that for sure. But yeah, trying to figure out how I can get that in like 10 or 20 more cities. But
yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I feel like TikTok is so hard just because and nobody seems to really know how to have success with it. Even the people that have success with it are like, yeah, I don't know, it just kind of happened. And it's like, okay, well, what do I what can I do that will also amplify this? Like
right, yeah,
get
yeah.
this. It's like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Just you put yourself in a position to maybe blow up, maybe not.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's a pretty cool vessel for finding artists though. That's like a lot of how I find people is just like spending
Yeah,
time.
for no, for sure. It's definitely a good thing. I mean, it changes people's lives. I'm just not good at all the
Yeah.
terms. I haven't really tried it, to be honest, but too
Yeah.
much. I'll really just, if I write a song, I'll just put it on there. But I don't think that's really what drives views. But
Yeah. That's
that's
tough.
definitely a good thing.
Yeah. From like growing up in Charleston, even though Nashville isn't like that far away, have you noticed like a big, obviously like Nashville's bigger and there's more music there. but have you noticed like a huge shift in like how to connect with new fans and stuff between the two different cities, or is it?
I I honestly don't even know if I'm at the point to where I could like compare, like
Mhm.
um I guess it has like even though it's kind of funny because even though it doesn't really mean anything, right? Like Nashville, they're not like stopping you like when you get to Nashville and like you don't get out and play and sing them a song and they decide to let you into the town or not. But it is like I don't know, it's like got a stigma. It's like, oh, he's a Nashville recording artist. It's like I guess like especially like trying to book gigs like back in South Carolina, you can definitely drop that like I don't know, I guess it gives you some validity of like, hey, you're taking it more serious. You made that move, but at the same time, it's just an 8 hour drive. So it's like, it's not really, what I mean? If that
Yeah,
makes any
like
sense.
you've
But
started to you've made adjustments to put yourself in a
yeah,
position.
it is a certain, it's like, hey, you made you changed your whole life. Like I would have never left Charleston, but you made a huge change in your life to go after something that there is something to that. But like, yeah, like I said, it's really on, I only moved 8 hours, but it does. I have noticed it's easier if you're like trying to get cover gigs back in South Carolina. It's definitely a selling point of
That
like, hey,
you
I live in Nashville, even though it really doesn't mean anything. But it is kind of funny how that does have a little flair to it or whatever.
yeah. And on the other end of it, did you find with there being so many artists when you moved to Nashville, was it difficult to get cover gigs, or was there so much available there that it wasn't?
I haven't been playing like a ton, so I still have like a 8 to 5 job and stuff. So that's paying the bills. So I don't have to um play a ton of cover gigs. Kind of just pick and choose ones that I want to do. Their rider rounds are really big here, where they'll have like let's say they'll invite 12 people and they go on. There's tons of them every night here, and some of them are better than others in terms of the artists they get, and there'll be like 3 or 4 people on a stage, and each person will tell a story, sing a song, and each person will do 3 or 4 songs, and we'll bring the next group up. So I've been playing those, and those are really good just to meet people, right? Because you're put on stage with 2 or 3 other guys or girls you never met, and then it kind of gives you an easy way to talk to them after. And then you could also be like, you can also see like, hey, I like what they're doing. Like we should be buddies or whatever. So, um, yeah, but there's definitely a lot of talented people here. It's crazy how many like good songs there are. Like just songs you may never hear, which is sad, and they're just amazing songs. It was definitely like the first week I would go to a lot of those writers rounds because that's kind of how people network here, and I would just like hear these songs, song after song, and they're most amazing songs you've ever heard, and I'm like, dang, why did I move here? Like I should just pack up and leave right now. Like I need like what was I thinking? Like
But you wrote that? You
yeah, exactly. And then you'll hear too, like at those ride around, some guy, like I was playing after a guy and he played some big Cody Johnson song and like you'll hear big songs and you're like, damn, like good for that guy. He got a big cut.
Yeah, for sure. Is there people like audience members in attendance at these things, or is it just like solely an event for artists that just kind of like
it
network
it
and practice?
Yeah, it depends on which. I mean, there's so many of them. Like there's really you may have heard there's one called Whiskey Jam, which is like
Oh yeah.
actually pretty big, and that'll attract like things like that'll attract tourists and um but mainly yeah they're like more of like a networking tool. Like you even if you're not playing, like you'll just go just to just to be there and you know shake people's hands and try to meet people and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's a really cool way when you had, even if people aren't necessarily in the, even if, like you said, there's some people that aren't necessarily country genre, but go out there to do songwriting and stuff like that. I think that's a cool way to get a bunch of different perspectives in
For
one
sure.
place. Yeah.
And too, it's fun because we're like I'm writing all the time. So you have all these songs and then you're just sitting on your couch playing them to the walls. Like it's fun to be able to go out and play it to, actual human beings and kind of get their reactions and kind of, weed out the songs you don't like and things like that. So
Yeah, and I think getting feedback from someone that can probably understand better what you're trying to do with the song versus not that like obviously general crowd members great and good to know what they think of it too, but getting feedback from people that kind of know more like how to make a song, how to, how to change, like tweak things maybe to get where you want to go is probably even more helpful than, just a crowd
yeah,
member.
yeah. No, it's definitely, I mean, you obviously like the just the average listeners who you're targeting, but it is when you like someone you respect as a songwriter says like a song's good, it's definitely like I don't know, it feels good, kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll share with my brother a lot because my brother Langston, he's like he's the type of guy like he will tell you straight up everything. Like he just says what's on his mind and he tells you the truth. And I've sent him songs and he'll be like, yeah, this song sucks, dude. Like, like most people when you send it like your buddies or like your parents or whatever, like they're always gonna be like, oh yeah, it's so great. Like, but it's nice when they're like, my brother's like, this song sucks because then it gives validity to the other songs that he really liked. So I'll send them to him too because I know I'll get the honest feedback.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult to not just want the positive feedback for everything, but really where you see, I mean, with anything in life, the most valuable friends are the ones that tell you when you're messing up or the ones that tell you when, things could be better. And,
Yeah, because they can't. I mean, like I'm writing like a song a week. Sometimes two songs a week. Like they can't all be good. Like
yeah,
it's like they're like, oh, everyone's
exactly.
you're great. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Like, I don't know. I was like, I wrote this one in 5 minutes. I didn't think it was that great of stuff. I feel like you're lying to me.
I should try that. I should try to just like write
Test it.
the worst song ever and then just send it and be like, oh, you thought that was good, huh?
Yeah. I made that from Chat GPT. I didn't even write that
Yeah.
myself. What has your songwriting process been like? Have you kind of stuck to a pattern or do you change it up or?
um, no, so I've gotten into more like in Charleston. I just didn't find a lot of people to write with, so I wrote a lot by myself, and I still do. But here I've been writing more with other people, so it's like good to get. But usually, always you'll start with like the hook, right? Like what's the because storytelling's a huge part of country music, so definitely starting with like what's what's the point of the song? Like what are you trying to say, or what story are you trying to tell? And then what's the hook? Like what's the title of the song? And then yeah, from really the scary part is I don't really know how I write the songs. It's the scary
They
part.
just come to
It's
me.
like yeah, it's like I don't know. I just you know what I mean? Like it's like scary. It's like you write a good song, you're like, damn, I hope I can do this again.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely starting with like a hook and like I keep a list on my phone and definitely too like just like paying attention to what people say, especially like southern people will say the craziest shit like southernisms and like just things they say, so like just listening to them and someone says something just jot it down kind of thing, or if you hear something that you think could be a good song just jot it down and come back to it later kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of keep it in the back of your head and
Yeah.
kind of have it back there.
Well, yeah, I got a huge notes app too, just the most random stuff ever. So
You go back and read and have no idea. I do that all the time.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
what did these three words mean? I don't know, but they're there in case
There's definitely some after a night of drinking, like I've actually written some good songs after a night of drinking, but then a lot of times you wake up with the voice memo. Too, I'll have a bunch of random voice memos like melody come in my head or something. And yeah, sometimes after a night of drinking, you come back and you're like, what was I even talking about? Like,
what was I
but
thinking? I was onto
that's
something.
not I thought I was a genius last night.
I felt it. No, it makes you wonder, like, I mean, before you had your phone on you, like those same situations, like unless you had paper and pen handy, like like you just have to constantly like repeat it to yourself. Do you have paper and pen handy?
Hey, that's a good point. Yeah, because that's why I'll do it too. Because sometimes I run to my phone because I know like it could just vanish. It's like, oh, I got to get this out because I'm not gonna remember it.
Yeah, and it's gone before you know it. And you're like, oh, what was that? And it just you try to piece it back together, and it just doesn't sound quite the same as it did then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what's it been like going from more cover songs to performing your own songs? I noticed that you did do some cover song, which was, I mean, I thought it was super cool that you did Lose Yourself.
Yeah, that was
It
so that.
actually was received super well at Windjammer. Like everyone seemed super into
Yeah, that was the perfect crowd for that.
it. Like,
So we that was actually we were me Taylor Ingle, the guy who was playing rhythm guitar, and then Brennan Burns is like those are like two of my best friends, and he was playing lead guitar. We were back doing we were doing some show in Charleston like back in around Christmas, and we were sitting around the fire, and Brennan just like hit one of the strings or whatever, and I was like, "Are you about to play Lose Yourself?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Well, you should like keep that going." So had that in the back of the mind, and I actually saw someone at Whiskey Jam do like a Lose Yourself mashup. It was different songs. I can't remember which ones, but I was like, "That's really cool. We should do that for sure." That was a good time.
yeah.
Um, what? Sorry, what was the original question? Doing?
Oh, just like kind of going from doing more cover, like probably originally like more like strictly cover stuff to like incorporating your own songs into it and kind of having that balance of both because you kind of went back
Yeah.
and
So
forth.
I'll still do like the 3 hour cover gigs and stuff like that. And I mean, this can be fun too. But yeah, definitely. I mean, any chance you get to like do play your own music is just it's awesome. And it's something you get to see. And it is a little like that crowd definitely. I mean, that crowd's definitely was like more of a party crowd. So it was like it's a little risky, like playing a lot heavy originals when people don't know the songs. But I don't know. I think it's important when you get an opportunity like that where they don't, because a lot of places will tell you like don't play your songs. Like sure you're
Really?
great, but like yeah, a lot of places. I mean, they'll be like, yeah, you can like throw a couple in there, but like we want it like 95% covers, which is fine. I totally get it. But
Mhm.
anytime the Windjammer is awesome, like promoting local artists and stuff, like letting them play their own music and stuff. And anytime someone gives you that opportunity, I think it's important to kind of put your foot in the ground, like, because could have maybe been a little crazier show if I just did 100% covers, but I wanted people to leave that didn't know me
To know
and
you.
be like, hey, that's Drew, the guy that writes songs and is trying to be like, like the cover songs that they know and love, not oh hey, that was a cool cover band. I didn't want if that makes sense. I think it's important to kind of if you're given that opportunity to kind of try your best to make an impression that hey, I write songs and I'm trying to be an artist. I'm not here to play Dixieland Delight for 3 hours.
Yeah, and I mean, you put so much time into making your own stuff that you can kind of like, I mean, it takes so much time to write something, to create something, make it sound the way you want it to. I
Yeah,
think
for
when you
sure.
have people that are there, whether they're there to see you or somebody else, if they're gonna have that interaction with you, that's like your chance for them to connect to
Yeah,
something that
yeah,
you made.
for sure, for sure.
And I think like, I mean, I think playing Lose Yourself obviously is pretty memorable, and people probably would remember you for that too. But I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I was
one of
like,
the
I also too, I was like, I want to like, it's a hype crowd. Like,
yeah,
let's get
let's do
fun.
something fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day. I really appreciate you taking some time to sit down and chat.
Yeah, man, for sure. I've never done a podcast, so that was cool.
Really, it's the first one for my first
Yeah, yeah,
podcast, your first
yeah.
podcast,
With Batman himself too.
Batman himself. Well, thank you so much. I wish you the best of luck. It was awesome to meet you and get to sit down with you for this.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me on. We'll hopefully do another show in Charleston soon. We'll have to think of the next rap song we can make country.
Yeah, for sure. Well, best of luck in Nashville. I'm looking forward to seeing you around here again, maybe sometime
Cool,
soon.
man. Yeah, for sure. Thanks, brother.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Hey, dude.